Hey folks, Snowman Jones here from Wrestling 911. You guys asked for this. You wanted to see me show off some of the custom figures that we have in our LJN style collection. So we're starting off with Terry Funk, which is one of my favorites for sure. You can see Terry is really cool looking, right? You can see we've got the Funk U t-shirt, the custom head. I'm not sure who actually designed the graphic, the representation of that head. I would guess Tom Veg, the great Tom Veg. But this is a uniquely styled, looks like a British Bulldog Dynamite Kid body. But yeah, folks, I've got some really cool custom figures, a lot of which I've just painted and created myself. Some have been done by some other folks, and I love this one. Now, this doesn't match some of my other figures because it's more of a 90s style, like the outfit, but I just like this much more than the original LJN, so I went ahead and decided to add it to the collection. Now, second, we're going to show you a big one. This one is, yeah, he hardly fits in the frame, right? This one is Giant Gonzalez, aka El Gigante. Now, it measures about 10 inches from top to bottom, where your standard LJN measures in just around 8. And the reason for that, let me get this camera straight, sorry. The reason for that is because he's a giant, right? He measured 7'7" in real life, and I wanted to give him a giant appearance. So compared to a tiny little Terry Funk, which is a smaller figure, you can see this guy towers over him, much like the Giant Gonzalez or El Gigante did in real life. Now, this is a 3D print, and I painted it myself, and it is based on the design that the Galoob figure was, just blown up and printed with a 3D printer. Speaking of 3D printer, this one I had printed by Kevin Pelkey and I painted it myself. It is a Sergeant Slaughter. Now, we all know that Sergeant Slaughter is one of the most sought after figures in the LJN collection. Well, I didn't think he was worth the $500 worth of custom, so I decided to paint my own. And I did it in a style that I liked for myself. I decided to make it how I wanted him to look. Gave him a black hat instead of his signature, I think it's a green or tan hat. I did do the G.I. Joe logo and the sergeant stripes on the side. Gave him the two-tone boots, the black trunks, and the white belt with little silver buckles and things of the sort. This is one of my favorites. I decided to go with the silver for his whistle because he's a drill instructor, on the red, white, and blue on the armbands. Again, this is completely custom, and I think this one came out very nice as well. And each of these are unique. They're not in the LJN line, as you'll see. Now, I never liked the LJN Andre the Giant figures. I didn't think they did him justice. So this one stands about 9 inches tall, where Giant Gonzalez is a little taller at 10 inches. I feel like this gives appropriate scale to Andre the Giant. It gives him a more realistic likeness than the LJN figures. And I think this makes him look pretty tough and cool, and definitely something that adds to the collection, of course. Now, one of my favorite, this is just a repaint of the LJN Jesse Ventura figure. See, he made it as that Plato's, isn't that a dance club or a club out in the Vegas area? He's got the, and you guys can correct me with that, he's got the painted wristbands, which I think look good. I like the two-tone on his glasses, the two-tone with his beard and mustache, or his mustache and sideburns, and even the painted laces give him kind of a custom look. The midriff, and this is just a unique looking figure. Nobody else has it. This is a one of a kind, and I really like the styling on this guy. Okay, next up, this is kind of interesting because this is a rubber print of the white and red Hulk Hogan. This is not an original 1980s or 1990 LJN Hulk Hogan, but I think he does look great. I love that gloss to him. Great gloss coat. That white is hard to get, the eyes are hard to get, and I think this really represents Hulk Hogan very well. Did a great job with this one. Very happy with it. Okay, next up in our figure, this is Nikita Koloff. Now, Nikita is one of my favorite wrestlers that never made it to WWF, because I feel like seeing Hulk Hogan versus Nikita at, say, WrestleMania 4 would have been fantastic. Two big muscular guys, one representing the USA, one representing Russia. This was a missed opportunity. I think Nikita got injured, but also Just the fact that he never made it to WWE in his entire career. This one's custom painted. Again, I think the head might be by Tom Veg. And Sinn actually did this one for me, Sinn Bodhi. Just did a great job making a muscular yet realistic Nikita Koloff. And he kind of goes well with my Bolsheviks. I have a custom Boris Zukov that I painted myself, a 3D print. And I have Nikolai Volkov, which is the original LJN. So this makes an entire Russian stable. I think next I have to add an Ivan Koloff to really get the full Russian stable for a Survivor Series team. What do you guys think? Next, here's one. I didn't like the LJN Ultimate Warrior, so we have our own custom Ultimate Warrior. I think he looks fantastic here. This is one of the best looking Ultimate Warriors that I've seen. I've actually got two. I painted one myself and I bought one. But this guy is great. Just gives more of a playable figure. The green and orange is very popular. When you look at his videos, he wore that sort of style a lot, and I think that looks great. And last but not least, this was one that I'm adding in. I just repainted him, so anything that's fresh in your mind gets added, to your favorites. These are not my favorites. We've got tons of customs, dozens of customs, so we'll be doing a top 10 again with maybe the Road Warriors, which you can kind of see in the background, Mr. Bob, or custom Dusty Roads. But this Earthquake is interesting. The first time when I originally painted him, I got kind of negative feedback in the video. People said, only one person said it looked like it was painted by a kindergartner. So I went back and I repainted his hair, redid his mouth, redid his eyes, did some graphics on him, retouched up his skin, and I think he looks a lot better now. I think one of the highlights to Earthquake is that tattoo on his arm, which really pops for an Earthquake, a Canadian Earthquake. And I don't know, folks. I just like how this one turned out, even though he was one of my least favorite figures for a while. The fact that he has really pasty pale skin, a lot of people don't like, but that's how he actually looked in real life. And John Tenta was just a beast in the ring. So since he never got an LJN figure, I thought it would be good to add him. So on these, a couple of these guys, Ultimate Warrior had an LJN figure, but I didn't like it, so I made my own, or got my own. Some of these I made myself, obviously. And then same with Andre. Andre had an LJN figure, a couple of them, and I just didn't like them, so we got our own. Jesse, I thought, was a great addition. Looks better like this. And Hulk Hogan, this is our own styling on the Hulkster. Nikita never made it to WWF, so we added him in. Sergeant Slaughter was simply too expensive, so we added the Sarge in. And of course, El Gigante. We're going to zoom out for El Gigante. He's not going to make it in here. The Giant back here. Oh no, this is what happens with your figures. They fall down on each other. This could be a terrible tumble, the colossal tussle. But you can see how big El Gigante is. Let's see if we can tilt that back so you can see all these guys. I apologize. And of course, Big Terry Funk. Let's move Earthquake out of the center because I feel like shouldn't be the center of attention. Hulk Hogan probably is the favorite among fans. And will Earthquake fit back here? This is like that Royal Rumble poster where everybody's charging at the screen, right? We should recreate that with LJN figures. And there's Terry Funk getting in with everyone else. So folks, that's my custom LJN, 10 great ones that I think you're gonna dig. Come back, we'll do this again. If you like it, leave me a comment and tell me if I should do 10 more. But I thought you would want to see, there we go, 10 of my favorite custom LJN figures. All right, folks, I'm SnowMan Jones for Wrestling 911. Follow us on Instagram to see all the latest at 911 Wrestling and on YouTube. Goodbye, my friends.